Thank you for listening to Podcast West Seattle. My name is Andrew. On this episode of Podcast West Seattle, we visit with West Seattle's most happening walk-up coffee shop.
When we added the bubble machine, it was like magic.
We also check in with some folks at the Coleman Pool.
I'm incredibly excited. I thought about bringing a tent last night and camping out.
All of this and more is coming up on Podcast West Seattle. As I record this, it is Friday, June 25th. A reluctant look at our upcoming weather shows this weekend to be the hottest weekend ever. Literally. The National Weather Service is predicting triple-digit temperatures on Sunday and Monday, and we may get there on Saturday too in some spots. The current prediction is 97 for Saturday. Some forecasts have the temperature on Monday reaching as high as 106. After Monday, temperatures will cool into the upper 80s. Please be safe out there, avoid strenuous activities if possible, drink more water than you think you need, and take lots of breaks if you're out doing something. Now let's take a look at a few news headlines from around the Duwamish Peninsula from the past week. The West Seattle Blog reports that just after 1:30 Friday morning, firefighters responded to a fire at the Highland Park Improvement Club. The 100-year-old community-operated building was damaged in the fire. No word yet on the extent of the damage or the cause. In lighter news, the Coleman Pool opened this past weekend for the first time in well over a year. I spoke with some folks who were waiting in line to be the first group of people in the water when it opened on Saturday morning.
We are very excited to swim today. This little guy is ready to get back into the pool after last summer being closed. Do you remember this pool, Cole?
Yeah.
I'm incredibly excited. I thought about bringing a tent last night and camping out.
When was the last time you swam in this pool?
When it was before it closed, the day before it closed. I've been looking forward to this for months and months and going on years.
A 50-meter outdoor pool is it.
It's a rare thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were here?
This is our first time. We wanted to come for a few years, but we never made it, so we made it today.
The Coleman Pool is located on the waterfront in Lincoln Park at 8603 Fauntleroy Way Southwest. They are open daily from noon to 7. Now let's take a look at the hot week ahead. In addition to the extreme heat, last night was a full moon, meaning some of the lowest tides of the year are this weekend. The Seattle Aquarium beach naturalists are scheduled to be at Lincoln Park and Constellation Park this weekend around midday. No word as of yet if that is still on, given the extreme heat. The wading pools and spray parks are reopening in Seattle parks just in time for the heat wave. In West Seattle, you can find wading pools at Delridge, Playfield, Lincoln Park, and in South Park. There's a spray park located in Highland Park. Check the Seattle Parks website for more details. One thing that people in West Seattle continue to do, even in the heat of summer, is drink coffee. It is an undeniable pastime for West Seattleites. To hear more about West Seattle's coffee offerings, you can go back to episodes 13 and 14 of Podcast West Seattle, where we staged a single elimination tournament of West Seattle's independent coffee shops. One of the coffee shops in that tournament has completely reinvented itself during the past 15 months.
Yeah, so Bird on a Wire Espresso was here for 17 years. We were longtime customers of Heidi's.
I stopped by the Birdhouse on 35th and Henderson to visit with owners Amber and Todd.
Well, we had lots of plans for this little space. We come from a catering background and doing special functions, and so one of our visions was to do more specialty things and to use this space for the neighborhood.
Amber and Todd took over the shop at the most challenging time possible.
We signed the paperwork March 1st, and then the world just went into pandemic. You know, our entire business plan went into the trash and said, okay, well, we've got windows. Let's open those up and see what we can do. And we grabbed one of our staff and said, hey, you want to work every day with us? And Eric said, sure. We shortened the hours, we shortened the menu, and we just kept showing up every day. We used to have cafe tables set up here at the windows, and when the pandemic hit, we said, well, how can we do this? Let's just open up the windows, nobody's going to come in, and basically let's play latte stand. So that's what we did. I sat here on a little red stool for months And then we had a friend of ours build these little decks that you see now. And so that helps us with the in and out.
The walk-up window model has been hugely successful for the Birdhouse.
We added little doorbells and all the ways that we can communicate with each other. And then in the fall, we added the awning so people weren't getting rained on, and put plastic up in the windows. And this has really kept our staff very safe. Everybody's worked in different locations inside, and it's just felt really like a blessing in disguise, honestly. It's helped us stay going through all the different phases of the pandemic. So we now have a storage unit with all the tables and chairs because we weren't sure if we were going to open up again. But we basically moved everything out and are getting ready to redesign this area so that we can have a double bar so that we can make drinks faster. So that big long line that you see on the weekends, we can get people through a little bit quicker.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, what's up, Cameron?
Hey, what's up?
I spoke with one of the Birdhouse's many regular customers.
My name is Cameron Cersei. I'm a West Seattleite here for the last couple of years. My wife and I, we were pregnant during the quarantine, so we didn't get a lot of outside contact with folks. This is kind of the one thing we didn't give up, is coming here every day. So probably once or twice a day. Can I get a double shot of espresso?
Double shot espresso.
And I'll get an iced almond milk latte.
Okay, iced.
12 ounce. Yeah. For us, it's been like a huge anchor, I would say. I think a lot of the coffee shops in Seattle have different types of anchors. At least for me, I don't have a lot of family out here, so that's a huge part of it. Is like getting to see a couple people, having that extended family and be around all the time.
Almost all coffee shops in Seattle are important to their immediate neighborhoods, but something about the highly visible walk-up window, the bubbles, the regular familiar faces, almost makes the front of the Birdhouse seem like a street party on a regular basis.
Yeah, when we added the bubble machine, it was like magic. Anything that we can do to bring a little bit of joy into the neighborhood during this past year, that's what we've been trying to do, is just have a little bit of that normalcy.
And the Birdhouse has plans to add to that community feeling.
So I've been looking at that big brick wall for probably almost 2 years now.
My name is Katie Tadaro. I am the owner and artist of Glam Dusty Studios here in Seattle, and the designer of this mural that we're doing at the Birdhouse. So this whole side of the building, from the ground all the way up to the top, over to the main intersection here, is going to be totally painted. We start painting the first week of July, right after the 4th. It's been in the works for a few months now, and so I'm personally super excited to get started, and I know Amber and everyone at the Birdhouse is too.
We have our design from Glam Dusty. Urban Artworks is going to put it up. We started selling these t-shirts that have one of the designs on it to support the Urban Artworks.
This is going to be my first real public piece of artwork under my own studio, so I'm super stoked to get it up on the wall.
We wanted to design something that was going to really just reflect the neighborhood of West Seattle and what's going on here, and not necessarily have it be about us, but more about the neighborhood and giving the neighborhood something beautiful to look at.
Thanks to Amber, Todd, Katie, and Cameron for talking to me. The Birdhouse is located at 3507 Southwest Henderson Street. They are open from 6 to 5 weekdays and 7 to 5 on weekends. That's all for this episode of Podcast West Seattle. Please be sure to follow, subscribe, share, and review the podcast if you're so inclined. We'll be back in a week with more West Seattle stories and events. Until then, stay cool, West Seattle.